What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth Smith. And today is a very special episode for a few different reasons. Number one, I'm on a new mic. So we got a new mic. Shout out to my amazing husband, Stone Smith, who bought me a new mic, and it's a Shure mic. So I see all of the people using this mic. Like every time I see a reel with somebody using a podcasting mic, or anytime I see a podcast, watching it on YouTube or something, I always see everybody using this mic. So I'm super pumped to finally feel like a complete professional using a really high quality mic. Now, before I was using a Yeti Blue mic, and those are phenomenal. But now I feel upgraded, and it's nice. It feels good. I've been getting a couple of complaints about the audio on the podcast, so I apologize if it hasn't been top notch, because obviously my ultimate goal with everything that I put out is to make it as high quality as possible so that you guys can get as much value from it as possible. But, we live, we learn, we grow, and we upgrade as we go. And that's just how we do it. Like, people ask us all the time, like, oh, how are you able to afford, building a podcast studio or a Raptor or all these things? And it really comes down to the fact that we use our money to invest in ourselves and in things that are going to make us better. So we go out to eat once a week. We don't drink alcohol. We don't do drugs. We don't do any of that shit. So we use our money to invest it into ourselves to become a better version of ourselves. And that's just how I like to look at it. But there's also a lesson to be learned from me getting a new mic. And it's not the topic of the podcast, but I think that it's pretty relevant right here. I was having a conversation with one of my friends earlier, and this came up, is what he sees happen a lot, and what I see happen a lot as well, is that people will be like, oh, I'll start my YouTube channel when I get a fancy camera, when they have their fucking iPhone that they could use. Or I'll do this when I have all of those things set in stone. And I think that a lot of people, they put off starting something until they have the perfect equipment, or when they're able to invest in the perfect equipment, when in all reality, you have to just start where you're at and build your way up. For example, I started a podcast with a shitty mic. I got what I thought was a little bit better of a mic, and now I have a really good mic. So it's like I've upgraded over the years, right? So if you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start creating content, you have an iPhone. You have a laptop. These things have mics. They have videos. Are they the highest quality and the best possible? No, but you can make some pretty damn good content with them. And the value and the information is the most important thing. Obviously, the quality matters, because people aren't going to stick around and watch something that's really low quality, or they're not going to look at you as an expert. But we all start somewhere. Like, you can go back and watch so many of these top fitness influencers, for example, nowadays. Like, Christian Guzman is one of my favorite YouTubers ever. I've been watching him since he started. And it's really cool to be able to see like where he started versus where he is now, not just with YouTube and with the quality of the content that he makes, but also with his businesses. So you have to just put into perspective that you have to start somewhere, but I don't have the perfect equipment, or I don't have the knowledge to start something, using that as an excuse to not start and to put it off and to procrastinate is bullshit. You have to start. Most people want to wait to jump off the cliff until they have a parachute, which, probably safe to do that. However, in my analogy, you would jump off the cliff and build your parachute on the way down. Most people are too afraid, and they'll never jump off the cliff, and they'll never be able to see what they're truly capable of. And this kind of goes right into the topic of the podcast. So, the other day I was scrolling on Instagram, just scrolling. I really like to scroll through top reels because I like to get ideas, as well as sometimes I'll come across really good quotes or really good like business advice or anything like that. And there were two that came up on my feed this week that I really wanted to share with you guys, but also get into. So the first one was: an athlete won't judge you for working out. A millionaire won't judge you for starting a business. A musician won't judge you for trying to sing a song. It's always the people going nowhere that have something to say. And I've spoken about this topic a lot on the podcast, where not everybody is going to believe in you. There are going to be people who doubt you. There are going to be people who don't see your vision. And that's okay. Because those who matter won't mind. And those who mind don't fucking matter. All that matters is that you believe in yourself and you believe in your vision. Think of it like this. You don't like everybody that you've ever met in your entire life. In fact, I'm sure that you have people that you hate, and some people that you hate for really no specific reason. So how could you expect everybody to like you? It's not possible. It's not going to happen. And you should never try to allow everybody to like you. So if somebody doesn't support you, if somebody doesn't see your vision, a lot of the times it goes back on them. They know that they themselves could not do that, or they know that they themselves have let go of their dream. So they're trying to pull you down to their level because they don't see the potential that somebody could do this. Maybe they don't have anyone in their life who's ever been successful. Maybe they don't have anyone in their life that's ever made millions of dollars or built a successful business or got in good shape or was an athlete, whatever your goal is. So they've never seen it. So they doubt you because they don't think it's possible. The truth is that anything is possible so long as you never stop learning, you never give up, you never quit. You always seek discomfort intentionally. And you give every single day everything that you have. The difference between the people who are super successful and the people who are average are that the people who are average are always looking for a secret. They're always looking for the hack to success. And they're always looking for the secret because if they haven't found a secret, they can use that as their excuse as to why they're not doing the work or why they're not taking action. Think about that again. A lot of people are looking for a secret. The secret to success is to just keep fucking showing up and doing the little things consistently over time, especially on the days where you don't feel like doing it. And that's the difference between the people who are successful and those who are average. Those who are successful, they show up for themselves every day, even when they're not motivated or inspired. And they get that shit done. They keep the commitments that they make to themselves. Those who are average only do it when it's convenient. Only do those things that the successful people do consistently. The average only do them occasionally. And they always find some bullshit excuse as a reason to why they're not taking action. When in doubt, guys, just fucking take action. That's really what it comes down to, and that's what I've learned over the years. Now, another quote that I came across. It said, your competition isn't other people. Your competition is your procrastination, your negative thoughts, your comfort zone. Compete against that. The obstacles you face are not external. They are the doubts and the fears that hold you back from achieving your full potential. The only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. Success will be undeniable. The real battle is with yourself. So your biggest competitor in life, it's not anybody else but the person who's looking back at you in the mirror. The person you were yesterday is the only person you should care about beating. Is it good to have healthy competition? Absolutely. I think competition is an extremely beneficial part of life because it allows us to not only see what's possible, but to push ourselves past our perceived limits. However, what a lot of people end up doing is they use competition in a negative way. They start to compare themselves to other people who they have no business comparing themselves to. People who have been doing it for 10 times longer that they've been doing it. People who have much more experience, who have put in much more work, who have a much different life. And when people start to compare themselves to other people that they have no business comparing themselves to, they lose belief, they lose confidence, and at the end of the day, they usually just say, oh, well, why even bother trying? Because I'm not good enough. So your competition is the person you were yesterday, but it's also your procrastination, your negative thoughts, your comfort zone. Compete against those things. If you know that you struggle with procrastination, take action. If you know you struggle with negative thoughts, be grateful. If you know you struggle with your comfort zone, intentionally seek discomfort every single day. Compete against those things. Because when you can compete and beat your procrastination, your negative thoughts, and your comfort zone, you're going to be the most successful, best version of yourself, and you will truly be limitless. But you're allowing fear, all of these obstacles, fear, doubts, limiting beliefs, you're allowing those things to hold you back from becoming the person you dream of becoming. Your doubts, your fears, your limiting beliefs, those are your enemies. Fight them. Fuck everybody else. Fight them. The only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. Remember, success will be undeniable when you do that. The real battle is with you. And when I read this, I was like, wow, that's really powerful. I love that quote. It's one of those things that I read, and it's going to be something that I come back to a lot of times throughout my life. It changed my perspective towards a lot of things. And it kind of came to me when I needed it most. And I think that a lot of things come into our life for a reason, whether it be a book or a quote or a person or a podcast, because it was kind of exactly what I needed to hear in that moment. I was stuck in this mindset of I feel like I'm not making progress fast enough. I feel like I'm failing with my coaching. I feel like I'm failing my business. I feel like I'm failing as an athlete because I'm not moving fast enough, even though I'm putting in so much work every single day and focusing so hard on what I'm doing. And it can be really frustrating when you're putting in so much work and you feel like you're not making progress. I get that. I know that a lot of people are there. I know that a lot of you listening are probably there or have been there. So when I saw this quote, I started to scroll back on my Instagram, which is kind of scary. So I started my Instagram back in 2012 when I was a senior in high school. And right off the bat, I just started, because that's right around the time where I started working out and eating healthy, and when I started transitioning into having an eating disorder, unfortunately. But right off the bat, I was sharing my fitness journey. I was sharing pictures of food mostly, but also little things from the gym and what I was doing. And that was back when Instagram was only photos, so there were no reels and no videos and things like that. And it was really kind of cool, but also a little cringy to see what I had posted and what I was saying back then. And then I came across one photo from June 27th, 2013. And this photo was a front, a back, and a side photo of me the day after I was admitted into the eating disorder outpatient program. Two things about this photo. One, you can go and find it on my Instagram because I did a reel with it. Two, I remember looking at these photos when I first took them, or when my mom first took them, and thinking that I was fat. And now I'm looking at them right now as I'm talking to you guys, and I want to cry because of how awful I looked. I was so skinny. I was so sick. So it's crazy what our minds can do to us with body dysmorphia. But I'm going to read to you the caption because I think it's very relevant here. All right, everybody. Oh, God. In my previous post, I said that today started a new journey, and now I'm going to explain exactly what I mean. In the past year, I've really been struggling with overtraining and undereating. It has gotten to the point where last week, my parents decided to admit me into an eating disorder outpatient program. When I walked into the first appointment, I was completely skeptical that I needed to be there. But then I stepped on the scale and got a huge wake-up call. 89. Holy crap. I've never been so low. I'm 5'6", so my healthy weight is somewhere around 125, 130. I lost control, and I'm ready to gain it back. Over the last week, I have dramatically increased calories, especially carbs and fats, cut out exercise completely, and I ended up gaining 1.5 pounds. I know that it's not a lot, but it's a start. My doctor was so happy with the progress that he's giving me the okay to do weightlifting, no cardio, 5 days a week, since that would help me gain weight. So today I begin the huge beast of a plan of Body Beast, which is a Beachbody program. I used to be a Beachbody person. Geez, I'm so sorry about that. Without the cardio. I am not someone who likes to post pictures of themselves, but I want to inspire people with my recovery, and I want girls to learn from my mistakes. All I want right now is to be happy and healthy. Now it's time to tackle the beasts and hop on a gain train. I hope my results can compare with other amazing people. Thank you to everybody who has been so supportive and inspirational. Today is the beginning of my new life. Everything else is in the past, and the door has been shut. My Instagram account is now personal on a new level, as I hope to inspire. Thank you for reading my rant. I'm ready. That was June 27, 2013. 11 years ago. And then I found a post from July 9th, which was the next post. I was very consistent, clearly. So I just got out of my appointment and I lost weight. Now I have to increase my calories by 500, which brings me to 2,700 a day. I need help. How am I possibly going to be able to do this? I'm trying so hard and I am so motivated to get better. This is where recovery gets difficult. Stay strong. In October, update time. So as I mentioned in my last post, I had my weigh-in today. Thanks to everyone who wished me luck, but unfortunately your wishes didn't help. I maintained my weight again. I didn't expect much of anything this week since I was bedridden sick all week, but my doctor didn't give a fuck. Sorry for my language, I'm venting. That's funny. I say fuck more than anything now. He made it sound like I did it on purpose. I've been stuck at 111 for a month, but my mental progress has been so amazing. Been crying for a few hours now. I'm just so done with this shit. Rant over. So it's crazy to see the progress also that I've made since June to October to gain enough weight. And I was still not happy with myself because I wasn't recovering the way that I wanted it to, because all that they cared about was the number on the scale. They didn't give a shit about how my mental health was doing because I was so depressed, so anxious. I'm looking at this photo right now and I took it. I remember sitting on the toilet seat, not on the toilet, but like in the bathroom, sitting on it, crying because I have sunglasses on because I didn't want people to see that I was crying. And I'm sharing this all with you because I want you to know that, like, looking back at that photo, I remember how I felt in that moment and how fucking depressed and how low I felt. Like, that was rock bottom. Those 3 photos, rock bottom. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to recover. There were so many times where I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to recover from this. I'm just going to go back to doing what's comfortable. But I kept pushing and I never stopped trying. And I kept focusing on, okay, just be better than who you were yesterday. Just keep fighting those negative thoughts. That eating disorder bullshit that's going on in your head, shut that up. You deserve to live. And one of the biggest things that kept me going was to be able to inspire other girls to do the same. And during that period of time when I was sharing my journey, I was getting messages from girls who were either going through recovery or who knew that they had a problem and wanted to start recovery, but were afraid to do it. And I know that a lot of people who are listening to this may not resonate with this because maybe you haven't had an eating disorder in the past, and that's 100% okay because you can relate it to any area of your life in which you've struggled with addiction, because that's really what an eating disorder is. It's a form of addiction, and I think that most humans have struggled with some form of addiction at some point in their life. And as I'm scrolling back to all these old posts and I was watching some of my old YouTube videos, never ever search the name Caitlin Kenna on YouTube. You will be shocked and surprised. I mean, go ahead. It might give you a good laugh, but it also might show you how far I've come from barely being able to speak to the camera to being able to have a podcast. And I never thought I'd get here, but here I am. And the thoughts that I've had doing these things is I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud that I committed to a journey of recovering from my eating disorder and beating my addiction, and I fucking did it. And like I said, as I'm looking back at those photos, I can remember how I felt in those moments, and I didn't think I would be able to do it. But I did it because I kept showing up for myself every single day, day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. Even when I regressed, even when I relapsed, I still came back and I still kept fighting. So I want you to relate this to any area of your life right now where you're struggling to keep going, where you're struggling to keep fighting, and all you want to do is quit. Don't. Because I promise that it'll be worth it, and it won't eventually be worth it. Every single day that you wake up and you put your full effort and intent into something that you're chasing, that pays off. So I hope that this and sharing my journey has helped to add a powerful perspective towards you, to show you that hard work and consistency really does pay off, but you have to be aggressively patient with it. Like, it's not going to pay off tomorrow. You have to put the work in, and you have to put the work in for a long time. And even when you're not seeing progress, I promise you that you are. I heard the analogy the other day on Ed Milet's podcast of him talking about your goals and the journey to your goals being like trying to break open a piñata at a birthday party. So, they set up the piñata and one kid hits it, nothing. Next kid hits it, nothing. Third kid hits it, nothing. And then the fourth little girl comes over, hits it one time barely, and the whole thing pops open and all the candy falls out. Now, all of the kids who went before the little girl didn't know that there was progress being made. So they were frustrated and they quit. And that's exactly what so many of you are doing with your journey. You're pounding and pounding and pounding away at your dreams. But it's not happening fast enough, or you're not seeing progress fast enough, so you quit. You quit before the candy falls out. And you could have been one hit away from the candy falling out. But you quit. So no matter what journey you're on in your life, and no matter what you're struggling with today, keep fighting, keep pounding away at your dreams, and keep putting in the work every single day. Show up for yourself. Some days it's going to be harder than others. Some days showing up for yourself might look a little bit different, but just keep moving forward. Left foot, right foot, one step at a time. And go out and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.